Isn't it my birthday yet? Cause I got.
Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm gonna do a cut crease tutorial, and I'm going to start off with my eye primer from Revolution. This is the Pro Eye Elements primer, and I'm going to apply that all over the lid and under the brow. I'm going to start off with this palette by Lime Crime. This is their Venus 3 palette, and I'm going to go in with this shade right here, and I'm going to pack it on, not setting my primer. I'm going to pack it on just like that after applying the primer, and I want the shadow to stick onto the base, and that way the color can show up a lot better as opposed to setting the primer and then going in just like that with the shade. I want it to be a vibrant look, so that's what I'm doing with this one. And then I'm gonna go back into that palette and take this light pink, it's like a pink mauve, and I'm going to pack that right above that purple shade with a dense blending brush. This one is by Sigma, by the way, and the first brush is from KoKo Sense. So I'm going to pack that shade right above it, so that way there's a transition from the purple to the light pink mauve shade. And I want to blend out those edges, but also when I'm blending out those edges, I want to go in with a different palette, and the palette that I'm going to use is the Beaute palette, and I'm going to go in with that light shade right here, and I'm going to apply that right under the brow and onto the brow bone area, cleaning up that pink shade a little bit so it can look diffused, and you want to make sure that it's not like a harsh area. So that's what I'm going to do. And I did lose some of the clip, which you'll see in a minute. I lost the clip, but I did use some of the other shades in that palette alongside with that Lime Crime palette. So I'm going to take this burgundy shade and I'm going to pack that right there in the socket of my crease and on the lid. I'm not going to go in crazy with that shade. I just want to apply that right where the purple in that crease area, so that way when I'm applying the lid shade, I'm gonna have that burgundy shade still. So I'm going to take that fluffy brush from not KoKo Sense, but ColourPop, and I'm going to then go in with that, and then I'm blending out any of the harsh edges from that burgundy shade. And I'm gonna take my Revolution concealer and I'm going to clean up that lid area, like 1/3, 1/4 of my eye. And I want to do something a little different, so I'm just cleaning up where that inner tear duct is at, and I want to make it a little sharp, more like a cat eye effect, but not applying the liner. I'm just doing it with the concealer. So make sure when you're cutting your crease and cleaning up, you want to be very, very careful. Take your time. That's the best way to get a beautiful cut crease, and it looks very clean when you take your time. So I am gonna have a full video on different ways to do a cut crease, and if you're interested in that, let me know. I did lose the clip on what I used on the lid, so I'm just gonna list it on the screen what I used, but it's simple. I used one of the shades from the Grandiose palette, and I also used the lid shade from Lime Crime. So for my eyes, I'm going to use this eyeliner from Maybelline, and I'm gonna do like a really sharp wing, but I'm not gonna do a bold thick wing. I want to make sure to not do a bold wing because I want the eyelid to show when I'm closing my eyes, and you know, having that detailed look. So that's what I'm gonna be doing. You see how thin it looks? That's how thin you want it to look, especially if you have smaller eyes. Don't do a thick wing because it's gonna cover that whole area and it's defeating the purpose. So I'm gonna set my eyeliner with a black eyeshadow. This one is from Colored Rain, and I really love it, that the fact that it's super black. So I'm going to apply some mascara, and I'm going to apply some lashes from KoKo Lashes, and I'm going to move on to the face. So I'm taking this Hourglass Veil Primer, and I'm going to apply that all over my face and making sure that everywhere is covered. And say hi to my husband. He just came home from work. So I'm going to apply my foundation from Revolution, and this is the Conceal and Define foundation, and I love the finish of this because it's like a semi matte for me, and it doesn't cling on to any of my dry patches. Like anywhere that I feel like it's dry, it's not going to pick it up. It does set, but it's not like a harsh matte finish. It's, to me, it's a semi finish, like a semi matte finish. So I'm applying this and buffing it out with my foundation brush from 10 Buck Brush, and I'm gonna apply my favorite concealer. This is the Too Faced Born This Way multi-use concealer. So I'm gonna apply that right under the eyes, and then I'm gonna go in with my ColourPop No Filter concealer to brighten, and I'm gonna do that as my usual all over the face. I feel like I did a lot of concealing, but only reason I did that is because I had like a bold eye, so I want the under eyes to be bright, especially if you're working with like different hues of colors like purple. You want to brighten up your under eyes, especially if you have dark circles. You don't want it to peek through and then it just looks dull under there. So I'm setting my under eyes with my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in Lights, and then I'm taking this powder from Hourglass and I'm going to set that area and also all over my face with a fluffy brush. And I'm going to contour and bronze with my Anastasia Beverly Hills contour kit. So I'm taking these shades right here and I'm going to use my Wet n Wild blush brush, and I'm going to bronze up the face. And I really love the fact that there's like other shades in this palette. So I've been learning how to like really sculpt my face using one of the darker shades, and I thought I couldn't use it because it was too dark, but I like using this to sculpt. So you see how I switched up my brush and I use like an angled fluffy brush from Wet n Wild. So I like using that to really get into the cheekbones and really sculpting. So even though it's super dark on my skin tone, it's great that you can have a deeper shade than that, like than your usual, because you can sculpt and have that illusion of a cheekbone, like your face is skinny. So I'm going to use the first shade that I used to bronze, and I'm going to contour my nose, and then I'm going to lighten it up a little bit with my brush that I use for the under the eyes. Whatever's left over on the brush, I use it to clean up or just kind of veil it out a little bit to tone it down a bit. Now I'm going in with this MAC blush, and this is my favorite blush, and you will see in my best of 2018 video. So I'm going to then apply that on the cheekbones just to give me a flush of color back into my face. And then I'm going to go in with like two different highlighters. So I'm going in with this Fenty Beauty highlighter, and this is the highlighter How Many Carats, and I really was like trying to make this work, and I wanted to intensify it. I feel like this is a topper highlighter, not like something that you're used to, like the ones from Anastasia Beverly Hills or etc., whatever you use. So I went in with the Cover FX enhancer drops, and I went in with that, tapping it right above the highlighter. I know it's strange to do it over powder, but trust me, it's gonna make a difference when you try this method. And then I went back into the Fenty highlighter and I went over it to top it off, and then I went in again with another liquid, the same liquid highlighter, and then I just topped it like that. And I also applied that around where above the brow area, and just to give the highlight look. And I also apply it down to the bridge of my nose. So back to the eyes, I'm going in with my Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On pencil, and the shades that I use into the crease, that purple and the mauve shade, I apply that right underneath and setting that black eyeliner. So I'm going in with a more like a straight brush, and then I use a fluffy brush for the lighter shade. Whatever I had left over from that black, I just went in and tapped off a little bit on my hand, the back of my hand, just to not have a harsh black right on my waterline. And then I went in with the Ace Beaute palette, the highlight shade, and I put that in my inner tear duct. So for my lips, I'm going in with the City Color Cosmetics City Chic lip liner in Antique Pink, and I'm going to outline my lips so that way the lipstick is going to have a base and not transfer or anything like that, and that way, you know, I want to make my lips look a little bigger. And then I go in with the K Cosmetics lip lacquer and Very Berry. This is their new shade in their new collection of the lip lacquers. This shade is super pretty, so good for the fall and winter time. This is my finished look. I hope you enjoyed this makeup tutorial. Leave me a comment down below and like the video and subscribe for more makeup tutorials, and I'll see you guys in my next one.